Level 1. The Street Kid. You're 15, standing on a corner watching the men everyone respects. The watches, the cars, the way conversations stop when they walk by. You want that. You start showing up. You carry bags nobody asks about. You run to the bodega for cigarettes and energy drinks. You hold a phone while someone handles business behind a closed door. The older guys barely register you exist. To them, you're free labor with a pulse. This is a test, though you don't know it yet. They're watching whether you follow instructions and keep your mouth shut when it matters. You're tired and broke and invisible most days. You don't complain. You watch everything. You're waiting for someone to decide you're worth using. Level 2. The Lookout. You pass the test without ever finding out exactly how. Now you have an actual role. A man named Dre hands you a cheap phone and points you toward a specific corner. Your job is simple. Watch. You stand 12-hour shifts, scanning for patrol cars, unfamiliar faces, anyone moving wrong for the block. If something's off, you send one word. Green for cops, yellow for strangers casing the area. You don't sit. You don't take breaks. You are a human tripwire, cheap and replaceable. If a cruiser rolls up, you're the one who gets stopped while everyone else disappears into doorways. You're clearing maybe $90 a week. But you're proving you can be trusted with information. Stick with this long enough, and they'll let you touch something that actually matters. Level 3. The Corner Boy. You're done watching. Now you're moving product. You stand on your assigned stretch of sidewalk with small bags in your sock. Cars slow down. You walk over. Money changes hands fast, practiced, no eye contact held too long. You do this dozens of times a shift. For the first time, you're making real money. $250, sometimes $300 a week. You buy a new pair of sneakers. You buy a chain that isn't real gold but looks close enough. But here's what nobody tells you up front. You're the most exposed person in the entire chain. Detectives know your face from 3 blocks away. Rival crews know exactly which corner is yours. If anyone wants an easy arrest, it's you. If anyone wants to send a message to your crew, it's also you. You survive this level by moving fast, staying sharp, and never holding more product than you can swallow or toss in under 10 seconds. Level 4. The Muscle. You held your ground when a rival crew rolled through slow, windows down. You didn't bolt when someone fired a shot into the air outside the laundromat. You didn't say a word when officers leaned on you outside the corner store. People notice that kind of thing. Now you're handed a weapon and a different kind of job. You collect what's owed. Some guy's 3 weeks behind and stopped answering calls. You show up at his door, let your jacket fall open just enough for him to register what's underneath it. You give him 48 hours. You also handle situations that need handling. Someone's been talking too freely. A shop owner stopped paying for protection he didn't ask for but needs anyway. You make sure people understand the cost of forgetting their arrangement. You're the fear that keeps the machine quiet and obedient. Respected now, but doing work that ends in either a body or a sentence. One bad night here is 15 to 20 years for aggravated assault. Easy. But if you're controlled, violent only when it's required, never for sport, you might get handed people of your own to manage. Level 5. The Crew Leader. You run your own block crew now. 8 guys answer to you. A few lookouts, a few corner boys, a couple of guys whose only job is to look dangerous standing near you. Every night the money comes to you first. You count it, take your cut, pass the rest upward to whoever's running the district. Your job is keeping the cash moving and your people in line. Someone gets picked up, you find them a lawyer. Someone gets jumped 2 streets over, you organize the response. You're also the one settling disputes. Money owed between 2 of your guys, a girl, a perceived insult that's about to turn into something stupid. You have a number to hit every week without fail. If the block gets too hot, you relocate operations by Monday. No excuses. If your crew stops producing, you get replaced. And in this world, replaced rarely means a conversation. It usually means something permanent. Level 6. The Enforcer. You've shown you can handle violence with a clear head and actual planning behind it. Now you run the entire enforcement side of the operation. When the district boss has a problem words can't fix, you're the call. A rival who disrespected the organization publicly. A member who walked off with $40,000 that wasn't his. A witness with a court date in 11 days. You're handed a name. Your job is making sure that name stops being a problem, permanently and quietly. You've stopped doing the work yourself. You plan it now. Who goes? What route? What happens to the evidence afterward? You keep 5 guys on retainer who will do exactly what you tell them without asking why. You know which scrapyards crush a vehicle with 0 paperwork. You know which construction sites are pouring foundation on a given Thursday. You're the most feared name inside the organization. Even people on your own side keep their distance. You're essential and completely alone. Useful to everyone, close to no one. Level 7. The District Boss. You control an entire stretch of the city now. Roughly 12 square blocks on the east side. 4 crews report up through you, each one run by a lieutenant who brings you an envelope weekly. You take your percentage and send the rest further up the chain. You're managing several income streams simultaneously. Corner sales. A card game running out of a back room. A fencing operation moving stolen electronics through 3 different shops. You're clearing close to $90,000 a month. You drive something German and expensive. You wear a watch that costs more than most people's cars. You've become somebody. You're also a walking target now. Rival operations want your blocks, your money, your reputation. There's a file on you sitting in a precinct downtown with your photo clipped to the front. Your real job now is defense. When someone tries to push into your territory, you send the enforcer and his people to remind the city who this belongs to. You're a warlord with real territory, but you still answer to someone above you. Level 8. The Regional Commander. You control the entire city's operation now. 4 district bosses report directly to you, each one running their own piece of the map, each one delivering a substantial envelope every week. You're overseeing hundreds of people and tens of millions in annual revenue. You don't stand on corners anymore. You meet people in restaurants, in conference rooms that look like any other business meeting. You're a strategist now. When the underboss wants to push into new territory, you're the one who designs the takeover. Which crews move, when to negotiate, when conversation stops being useful. You also handle internal problems. If a district boss is skimming, you investigate quietly. If federal heat is concentrating in one part of the city, you redistribute operations before it becomes a pattern anyone can build a case around. You're powerful and completely exposed at the same time. The federal task force knows your name. There are wiretaps on 3 of your phones that you know about, and probably more you don't. They've followed you to dinner. They've followed you on morning runs. One mistake here, and you're not looking at years. You're looking at the rest of your life. Level 9. The Underboss. You walk into a room, and 18 men in tailored suits stand without being told to. Nobody sits back down until you do. You run daily operations for the entire organization. Every regional commander answers to you. You collect from across the city and resolve disputes too significant for commanders to handle alone, but not significant enough to bring to the very top. You also oversee the legitimate side, construction firms, a waste management company, 2 real estate development groups. To anyone outside, you're a successful, slightly mysterious businessman with good instincts for property. But your real function is protection. Federal prosecutors are permanently building toward the man at the top. They want him on camera in handcuffs for the 6 o'clock news. You exist to stand between him and that outcome. You're the insulation. If evidence surfaces, you're positioned to absorb it. Keeping him untouchable is the entire reason you have this seat. You have money, influence, and fear-based respect from everyone beneath you. But you're not at the very top. That's about to change, one way or another. Level 10. The Boss, you made it. Through the corners, the wars, the people who didn't make it this far, the people who tried to take your place and failed. You sit at the head of a long table. 18 men lower their eyes, unless you give them permission not to. You're a ghost in your own organization now. You never touch product, never touch street cash, never appear in a single transaction. There are 6 layers of people between you and any individual crime. You mention a problem quietly to your underboss, and within hours, it simply isn't a problem anymore. Your word alone moves outcomes. You sit across tables from leaders of other organizations and divide the city like it's something that belongs to all of you collectively. You decide who operates and who gets shut down by morning. You have judges who take your calls. You have a captain who clears paperwork before it reaches the wrong desk. Conservative estimates put you somewhere past $400 million, almost none of it under your real name. You live behind gates, behind cameras, behind men paid to die for you if it comes to that. And still, no peace. Your underboss is patient but ambitious. Rival organizations test your borders quietly, looking for weakness. There's almost certainly someone inside your own circle working for the federal government right now, and you have no reliable way to know who. You can't sit in a restaurant without running the math on whether tonight is the night. There's no version of this where you walk away. You stay on this throne until it ends. In a hospital bed, in a federal cell, or on the pavement outside somewhere you used to feel safe. You chose this. The only question that's ever really mattered is whether it was worth it.